So from that perspective, if I have to rank these three stocks, then my number one pick will be something like, hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So on today's video, I'm going to deep dive into Tata Tech IPO. I will do a business study, an industry study, and the fundamental analysis of the stock. And you will get a very clear idea whether it is a good IPO, bad IPO, from a short-term, long-term perspective. Should you be holding it, not holding it? How this IPO is going to impact other Tata Group companies or other Tata Group similar companies. For example, Tata Elexi has a lot of parallels with Tata Tech. So how Tata Elexi is going to get impacted with it. This is going to be a 360-degree viewpoint study. If you do like these type of videos, please like and comment and also subscribe on this channel so that more of these type of videos reach out to more people. I know that you haven't done it. So please pause the video and press the like button and we will get started. So let's first and foremost quickly understand what is the difference between Tata Elexi, Tata Tech and TCS. Because these three businesses are moving across different segments, but their paths are somewhat converging. This is a very important point that no one is speaking about, but you as a fundamental investor should study this point. This is going to have a massive impact because many of you might be holding TCS. Many of you might be holding Tata Elexi. Even I am also holding Tata Elexi. So what is it that I am going to do? So to understand the basics of it, first you need to study the differences across these three businesses. So let me quickly take you to Tata Technologies first and go to the About tab and press the About Us. Here what you will see is that we are the strategic engineering partner businesses that turn to when people aspire to be better manufacturing companies, this, that. Now the keywords here are two keywords there. So I will highlight these. One is strategic engineering partner and manufacturing companies. Now just to talk a little bit about the history of Tata Technology, the parent group company is Tata Motors. Now what type of company is Tata Motors? It is in fact an engineering company, mostly into what? Manufacturing space. What type of manufacturing? Auto manufacturing. So basically, if you combine these three words, it somewhat fits here. And this seems to be the vision or About Us section of Tata Technologies. Now, how does this differ from something like Tata Elexi? So, okay, so let's do the same exercise for Tata Elexi now. So go to the About Us section and what you will see on Tata Elexi's website is that it is into integrated design and digital. Digital is the keyword here. On top of that, if you just scroll through, it's technology and design. Now, ab thoda buddhi lagao, right? And just apply a little bit of brain and see where the manufacturing industry is going. Let's understand this story by using the example of Tesla. Now Tesla is basically a car company and it has great hardware. Hardware means कि यार okay पहिए कैसे होते हैं, engine, what type of engine, it makes no noise वगैरह. And there is software part of it. Basically when it comes to Indian EV, the sophistication on software part is less compared to the hardware part. So we have not climbed the ladder too much on the software part, and this is where companies like Tata Elexi comes into the picture, or at least this is where they aspire to be. But when it comes to the hardware part, this is where my understanding is that Tata Technologies will come into the picture. So I hope that the basic distinction of Tata Technology and Tata Elexi is clear to everyone. So which leaves us with the final piece, which is TCS. So आपका Tata Tech हो गया hardware, this becomes your software, and TCS becomes somewhat of an execution capabilities. And what they will do is that they will build some kind of secondary maintenance protocols. See, this is more of a primary company and it is trying to become a primary company. That for example, if Akshat is trying to create the next EV scooter or whatever it is, then I can go to Tata Tech for hardware, I can go to Tata Elexi for software. What will TCS help me do? Well, they will help me maintain the software, so to say. So this is my oversimplified understanding of these three types of businesses that one could hold in their Tata portfolio. So then comes the natural question कि यार अच्छा ऐसा हो क्यों रहा है that the Tata Group companies are splitting their businesses into individual corporate entities? Because in the US, something like Amazon works as one big integrated unit. Same applies for Tesla, right? Tesla, Elon Musk has different companies, but Tesla, whatever work it is doing under one brand. Same goes for Google, same goes for Microsoft. These are like trillion-dollar companies still not splitting their market cap. But when it comes to Tata or even Vedanta or even Ambani's now or Adani's now, they are all splitting their business. Why is that happening? So this is an exercise for all of you. You guys let me know. Probably this might merit an entire video, so I will make that. But this is a good thought to think about. And one of the core answers here lies in capital management. And this brings me to a very important section as to why Tata Technologies IPO is being launched. Because if you think about it, and here are the numbers for you, if you take a look at revenues, right, and you look at the latest revenues, the revenues are 4,500 crores. Last year, the revenues of Tata Tech was 3,500 crores. This is not a small company. This is not a startup that is getting launched like Mama, Zomato, all that stuff. This is a fairly mature business. So bhai, aisa kya ho gaya that what has happened that they have to launch their IPO right now? And there has to be some head or leg to why they are launching the IPO. Now, just for context, let me also talk about Tata Elexi revenue. So you can see that the revenues of Tata Elexi in 2022-2023 was quite less compared to Tata Technologies. Now, market cap abhi uska decide nahi hua because that will depend on the listing. But theoretically, Tata Tech is a bigger company than Tata Elexi. See, if you understand the intent of Tata Tech IPO correctly, then that will kind of help you navigate through any volatility that might happen with the stock. The first key point that you need to understand why Tata Tech IPO is getting launched is very simple, that Tata Motors is the parent company, and here is the shareholding of Tata Tech, and you will see that majority holder is Tata Motors, which is the parent company. Now here is the stock price increase of Tata Motors. Now, whenever the parent company stock price is doing well, then its subsidiaries also theoretically do fairly well. So this is typically how it is seen. So 100 baaton ki ek baat that Tata stocks are doing fairly well. Take a look at Tata Com, Tata Power, Tata Communications, whatever you take a look at, Tata stocks are doing fairly well, right? So the Tata stocks are in an up move. So ye acha time hota hai to do an IPO. Second key point is that the markets are also going up. Now both these things, the IPO launch and the market going up, are somewhat timed. So समझ के लाए जाते हैं IPO, because in a falling market, if an IPO is brought, there is a very good chance that the company will get crushed. And something similar happened in 2022 when a lot of companies tried to launch their IPO, but the response was really lukewarm and the companies had to push their IPOs later. One classic case in point was Byju's. बेचारे उनके भाजी बच गए, right, because their IPO got delayed. Then comes the third key point about the Tata Tech IPO is that if you study the IPO, this is not a fresh issue. This is an OFS or offer for sale. Now, what is the meaning of fresh issue? Fresh issue means that the company actually dilutes its shareholding or existing shareholders and bring new investors into the market. OFS in very simple language, and ये समझने वाला point है that in OFS, let's say that I hold 1,000 stocks of Tata Tech, right, and I feel that यार, you know what, मेरे अच्छे पैसे बन गए and I want to sell 500 stock. Then what I can do is that I can push my company to do an OFS and give me a partial exit. Now this is something similar that is happening in Tata Tech IPO. Now you'll say that okay, this looks very shady, maybe not, I don't know, but see, definitely the company feels कि उनको ठीक ठाक पैसा मिल रहा है through this OFS. It's not as if that आपको सस्ता मिल रहा है stock, right? Now comes the final point that see, right now what is happening is that the entire reason why the company's IPO or come to the public market is very simple, that they need access to secondary capital. Now what is the meaning of primary versus secondary capital? So let's say that you are running a company and you require 50 crores. Now you'll go to VCs, angel investors, you will find rich people and you'll say yaar mujhe paisa de do, I'm building a company. Now that is somewhat primary, right? Secondary means that you have listed in the stock market. Now your stock is being traded. Something similar that is happening in Mamaearth now, that pehle it was primary, now they have access to secondary market and they are able to get money from the market. Now, this is an option that companies that are not managing their capital effectively as of now, they absolutely require this. A. B. Sometimes it happens is that the capital requirement for the business to grow is very high. Now in Tata Tech's case, basically their ROCE, return on capital employed, is going down. Now here is the data that you can see that year on year, their ROCE or capital efficiency is going down. And ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए that for example if the interest rates are fairly high, यार they are stuck, they are unable to IPO, they are able to procure new capital and the business suffers. So to prevent themselves from that situation, they are going to the secondary market so that they can get access to this funding as well. So I hope that this gives you the viewpoint. I do not want to paint the picture that there is some funny business that is going on in terms of Tata Tech. It's a solid company. Now let me move to the financials and start explaining some good points, but I hope that this helps you understand the complete picture. So okay, a good interesting picture to observe here would be the last 3-year data for Tata Tech. And what you will notice is that the sales growth was really fast in the year 2022. Then it slowed down a little bit, but net it is still a very profitable profitable company and a very clean group. So it's a profitable company. The growth rate is slowing down, but it is still very, very high. It is well above 14-15%, and their cost of capital might be 10-11%. So from that perspective, this is a solid business. There is nothing wrong with it. That's part A. Part B is the type of business or industry they are in, and what are the growth rate or growth projections for that industry, and where can they make money from. Now there is good news and bad news on this. So let me quickly decode that for you. And basically what you need to understand is that the Tata Tech focuses on 4 key areas or 4 key industries. One is automobile, aerospace, industrial machinery, and industrials. अब इतना समझ में नहीं आता, just leave it. Basically, what they are into is that they are into ERD, which means engineering, research, and development services. Most of their business comes from outside India. They are heavily dependent on Europe and American market. Almost 65% of their business comes from outside India. Only 30 to 40% business currently comes from India. Now, unless the ER&D domain in the world goes up, it is unlikely that this stock is going to become like multi-bagger from this point. So a very good case study for you to investigate further would be to study the growth rate of ER&D. So here is a very detailed note that I had asked my team to prepare, and you can access this for free, absolutely free of cost. You can check the links in the description and comment box and read the entire summary in case you are interested. Now here we have put this particular graphic, and here what you will observe is the ER&D spent from 2019 to 2025. You will see that the CAGR or growth rate of the industry is somewhere around 9%. Now this is not like absolute crazy. आप ये भी समझ लो कि चलो ठीक है, बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से ग्रो कर जाएगी. Then also a growth rate of around 15% might be expected. So this is a moderate case scenario that we are looking for the stock. Now you'll say कि यार ये तो बेकार stock है फिर, right? What's the point of investing in this IPO? Now the good thing about the Tata Group companies is that the band price doesn't seem to be like crazy high. It's not like Mama Earth की भाई 1000 के IPO से ऊपर चल रहा है and all that stuff. You are likely to get this IPO between 30 to 35. So from a valuation point of view, the company seems to be okay. Profit revenue seems to be okay. It's a moderate industry growth rate. The reason why they are launching this IPO is very simple, that they want to be prepared in case more capital is required. So by kar lenge. And finally, more important point is कि by doing the OFS, the existing shareholders are able to book some profits for themselves. That is the honest reason why this is being done. It does not look like a funky business. So now comes the natural next question, that a while back I said that Tata Tech's revenues actually depend on US Europe up to 60-65%. This is fairly high because export market में कुछ भी हो सकता है. If there is less spending in the US, people predict recession, whatnot. So definitely businesses like Tata Tech are going to suffer. Then comes the natural question कि यार इंडिया से growth नहीं आ सकती because India 30-40% market, India is growing वगैरह वगैरह. All good things, but see guys, we have to be realistic here that the manufacturing prowess in India is not very strong as of now. We are right now in a bad shape when it comes to manufacturing. Our manufacturing as a percentage of GDP has not really picked up. The labor force employment in manufacturing is low. It is not very, very high. The growth in India is coming from government spending and domestic consumption, mostly through leveraged finance. What is the meaning of that? Probably separate video. But I hope you get the picture कि यार India में manufacturing में growth नहीं हो रही, right? So it's not as if that this number is suddenly going to jump to like 45-50% and all that. For a foreseeable future, at least for the next 3 to 4 years, Tata Tech's prospects are going to depend on this. So if you believe that the export industry is going to pick up, growth is going to come from US, Europe, growth revival is going to happen there, then only bet on something like Tata Tech, right? So this is the most important message I want to deliver. Okay, so now before doling out my verdict on the stock, what is it that I'm going to do? Let me do 2 more things. Let me give you more details about the IPO. Now, here are some key details about the IPO. That Tata Tech IPO is launched at a face value of 2 rupees and it is set to be in the band of 475 to 500 per share. This is one. This puts the PE ratio somewhere around 32. This is a very important point. I will explain that in a minute. Second key point is that this is a pure OFS, offer for sale. I explained you the logic behind it also. Third key point is that existing investors will be offloading these shares to QIB, which are qualified institutional buyers, which are big players, and retail quota, right? So it's not as if that this entire holding is being dumped on retail, right? So you can see that retail quota is roughly 30% and QIB is roughly 43%. Then Then comes the natural question why I was stressing on that PE of 30, 35. Why is that PE very important? So which brings us to the quick case study of Tata Elexi. See, take a look at the PE ratio of Tata Elexi, and what you will notice is that it used to trade at somewhere around 18-19%, and आप और भी पहले पीछे चले जाओ, then the average PE of the stock was somewhere around 25-26, and now it is trading at a PE of 65-70. So if Tata Tech is getting launched at a P of 30 to 35, what do you think is going to happen between the migration from Tata Elexi to Tata Tech? So this is something that worries me a little bit. So I might be cutting my position on something like Tata Elexi. Now this is not a problem when it comes to TCS, because if you take a look at the P of TCS, what you will notice is that it is trading at a P of 27. ऐसा बहुत भारी भरकम PE नहीं है. It typically trades at 27-28. So PE correction on TCS is unlikely to happen too much. It might fall a little bit here and there, but mostly the downside of IT stocks have been absorbed. So from that perspective, if I have to rank these three stocks, then my number one pick will be something like TCS, then something like Tata Tech, and then finally something like Tata Elexi. Now, of course, a lot of things keep on changing in the stock market investing world. So to keep you abreast, I make very quick commentary on my YouTube member community section. In case you like, and if you're a serious investor, you could consider joining it for a couple of months. See the difference yourself. The fees is very, very nominal. It's just a bunch of serious investors who are trying to learn from each other. So that is the viewpoint with which I have started that community. It has been appreciated deeply. So definitely go and check it out. It's a wonderful community. You will 100% like the experience. I'm quite confident about it. So definitely give it a go. Be patient for a couple of months and you yourself will start seeing the results. So with that said, let me quickly summarize the video. Point number one, will I be investing in Tata Tech IPO? Short answer is yes. I will be investing, but this money will not be new money for me. This will be the money I'll be pulling out on something like Tata Elexi. When will I be exactly doing that? I will keep you updated on the member community there. So this is point one. Point two, there is a good chance that you will make listing gains because the gray market premium, or there is a premium that has been attached to the stock already. Any new IPO of the Tata domain has come after a long time. So there is a delayed premium here, so to say. So that is point two. It's a profitable company. ऐसी कंपनियों का IPO ही नहीं होता ज़्यादा. So from that perspective, investing community is very, very excited. So in case you are considering bidding, you can definitely consider doing it. I will also bid a little bit. Now, final point, because you have watched this video so far, I will give you a premium point here. See, so basically, if you take a look at this will make you happy because कई बार होता क्या है कि IPO launch हो जाता है and then you are not given any allotment, you feel very sad. See, आपको sad होने की जरूरत नहीं है. Take a look at what happened with Tata Elexi. So this was when Tata Elexi's IPO was launched and it did nothing, absolutely nothing for years and years. There is a price discovery that happens with IPO. Don't be stressed about all this, okay? Just be relaxed. Allotment मिल गया ठीक है, नहीं मिला then also it's fine. But don't put in like crazy amount of money in terms of buying it on the first day after listing has happened and all that nonsense. Please do not do that. It's just a recipe for disaster. Sit, relax, see how the Tata Group universe is evolving, which business is getting more of their focus, and divert your money accordingly. Stock market is mostly about risk reduction, and if you do that well, then you will definitely find success. As a next step of learning about risk reduction, check out this video, how you can go and build a portfolio. Building portfolio is critical, so definitely go check out this video. It will give you more clarity. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.